We got a pretty interesting game here in ranked 1v1 and GPG net. We got SeetHingLong, ZEF going to factory, 2P gens, a whole bunch of this ACU, not leaving too much to his NGs. Maybe we'll see a bunch of mech marines. And against them we got Cybran Suspect, who's also going 2P gens and mask extractor, then going to the Hydra. Looks like it's going to be a pretty aggressive ACU going for this metal mass, even though these don't really cost too much mass. Most of it comes from these little rocks here. There's still a choke point. Alright, so we see first Angie from Suspect. Factory attack move, he goes straight to the Hydro, skipping this mask extractor. And we also look at SeetHingLong. He is going with an NG, actually spamming 4 gens here right next to the factory. So these builds are slightly different from the ones we usually see. Looks like he's going to bypass the Hydro after he gets, well, he's going to get it after he gets a bunch of rocks manually. So, see the AC doing some zigzags. Yeah, this Suspect is taking care of these rocks. There's quite a bit of mass actually in these rocks. They're spread out, but if you send a few NGs out there, then you can see Suspect really running after this mass, which isn't really worth much. He's got some expanding NGs, some hunters on the top side. This NG is undefended. We do see a nice group, some mech marines plus a scout ready to go out for SeetHingLong. And now they're just going to defend an NG. This other NG might be in a little bit of trouble. You can see Long's ACU skipping all this mass. This is quite a bit of mass. He's going to run into a bunch of hunters. Now we can see the first meeting, the hunters and the mech marines. And it appears that it's a very even battle, but the numbers are going to win it for the mech marines. And more mech marines coming out. Now we got the plan. We can see multiple land factories for SeetHingLong. We also see so it's going to be 4 land factories, and we do see an air factory here in the back for a Suspect. So 1 more land factory for SeetHingLong, but no air. Now we see big numbers advantage here. It's all mech marines. It's a strange thing to see. All mech marines early, no tanks, but it's very effective. It seems you can get a lot more numbers. And here's this NG is stuck between an ACU and a bunch of mech marines. It's a crazy NG. It's probably going to get killed soon. Now we can see this fight, the mech marines versus Mantis. Mantis got him on range, so if you actually with these numbers you just gotta run away. It looks like they're gonna forget. We see a group of Artie with a radar coming out for Suspect. He's gonna be looking for things to kill, not clear why it's Artie. Now we can see Suspect's ACU being pretty aggressive at the same time, just patrolling, getting this mass instead of attacking. Now we can see the recovery of the top shelf for Suspect. And some T1 bombers now coming out for Suspect. That's something that Long has no counter to at this point. Now you can see the Mantis well used here. They get backed up into an NG, so it's kind of crazy. These Mantises have won the shelf but are not killing the PDs or the mask extractors. That's a little strange. And you can see Suspect's ACU marcher directly into SeetHingLong's base, who's got a T2 mask extractor capped to the mass. That's pretty amazing to see that at 7 minutes on Theta. I can see it's going to be another fight, Mantis versus tanks, and you can see the tanks going in 1 by 1. And just superior local firepower will win that. See a 2-kill bomber now for Suspect, and SeetHingLong is moving into Suspect's base as well. So you can see not much power left. You can see this Hydra has been killed, and now you can see why Long built these speed gens so far away, so that if he gets into this situation, it still has a little bit of power. NG is building next to a mass extractor that's being killed. That was with the tank. And this top part of the map is not taken by anyone. And now you can see these NGs desperately trying to make a PD, but SeetHingLong runs them over. Still a little bit of power left, so both players have a little bit 5 to 4 power generators in the back. But now you can see Suspect attacking Long's power as well. So it's whoever kills who's ever power first here. You can see this factory should stop building anything. See minute 9, SeetHingLong at negative 150s but plus 10. and it's going to be negative a lot very soon for Suspect as well. He's about to lose his power. He's got plus 10 now. So a lot of things happening in this game so far, and it appears that the two ACUs are in opposite ends from where they started, slowly killing off the opponent's base, and nobody has power. There is a small group of engines here for SeetHingLong could be very valuable trying to begin to make power. As soon as they get a little bit of power they get, his factories can make a lot of units. These bombers for Suspect have been very good. 3 kills for one, 2 for other. Absolutely no counter to them, so they can look for any power that SeetHingLong is making and bombing that, and this would be a very good target for those bombers, but it doesn't look like it's happening. Now we see NGs versus tanks. SeetHingLong using his land advantage. So you can see here, well, actually there's a really nice force here from Suspect as well. But he's going to run away. He's not going to engage the ACU plus a bunch of tanks. A really nice NGs here for Suspect. He's going to get him a lot of mass, but those mass extractors are now going to get ran over. So both players have about 6 tanks, maybe a little more for Suspect if you already mixed in as well. SeetHingLong is reclaiming all these factories. His main base is here now, where he's got 2 factories, and NG's making PGens, and you can see here Suspect trying to capture. Yeah, he must have realized you cannot capture when you have no power, and now he's making power. So Suspect still at no power. He just lost everything. He has paused all of his mass extractors, and these NGs are not going to finish because they have almost no power. And now this is going to be pretty devastating if these Mantis can survive and kill off this power. So if SeetHingLong protected this part of the map at this moment, he would basically win. But now it appears that he's going to lose a lot of this power. Yes, he loses all of it. So it puts SeetHingLong back at 0. So both players have absolutely no power once again. See SeetHingLong working on a little more power. Absolutely no NGs from either player. Well, there's one NG from SeetHingLong, but it's going to be very dangerous for this NG with these bombers. 6 kill for one, 6 for the other. So this is the main target for Suspect's bombers. Suspect still working on killing these factories from SeetHingLong. He really needs to build something with his ACU, and it looks like he actually leaves these factories to be. And now he's going to make some power. He's got some arty moving in. He's already going to be very effective. This is very good arty for Suspect, killing off these factories while they cannot produce anything, because SeetHingLong is still making power, still working on power generator. Still got a few tanks here, tanks versus bombers. It appears these bombers are running. Yes, they've run out of fuel. It'll be very easy to hit. The bomber hasn't yet. And here's an NG. Oh, the NG gets killed by a tank, 7-kill tank. Looks like Suspect is trying to hide something in the corner. Hadn't noticed that. And you can see the arty at work killing off the rest of the mass extractors. You see one PGen, and SeetHingLong is going for the Hydro. Looks like he had an NG somewhere. This is the NG that walked all across the map. So that's fine. So now we got another NG running away from a destroyed base. Suspect got quite a bit of power. Now he's got to get some factories. Should be plenty of mass just laying around. It would have been great to have an NG somewhere far in the field, but these tanks did great ratings, so 3 kills for this one. Here's an NG for SeetHingLong. It was built in these factories right before they were destroyed and ran away. So a survivor. That's pretty awesome. SeetHingLong working on a little more power. He's got a lot more planned. He needs a little more factories, and now he's pretty much at the mercy of these bombers. 9 kills for one, 6 for the other. We should see. Oh yeah, now we got flak coming out. And if these bombers would have put a few bombs on those PGens and this Hydro, it'd be very valuable bombs for Suspect. But now the arty's coming out, and these bombers, that was a good target. These bombers are going to get killed. Some arty coming in is going to do a little raiding. Well placed scout here for SeetHingLong, and an NG hard at work. The flak, there's multiple flak now out for SeetHingLong. He'll be able to recover air now. This is arty versus tank, and it looks like the tank is winning. He's already got 7 kills. He's gonna get a lot of kills. You see that bomb? The bomber tried to drop something on this tank, but that was not successful. Here's one more bomb on those would be great. He's gonna run into the flak most likely. That's a 9-kill tank, 8-kill bomber, and something that looks like a force is beginning to appear for suspect. He still hasn't built his Hydra, but he's got a nice row of PGens and he's got NGs expanding. This NG looks like it's working on a PD. If you can finish it, it'll be a nice spot for SeetHingLong. He does have a single NG now expanding, 3 NGs expanding for suspect. And a lot of actually SeetHingLong's force is flak, not tanks, and a really nice looking force here. Multiple Mantis plus a few Arty coming out, and of course radar. If they can attack this base right now with the ACU out, it would be pretty devastating. All these NGs very much undefended. Looks like any force that SeetHingLong had, he sent it out in the field to go kill things. This one might be successful. This tank's running away, is going to rendezvous with these, and it makes no sense for these not to be attacking. Instead, it looks like they're running into the ACU. That's the worst possible thing that could have happened. So not clear why he chose this direction instead of that. Well, with this type of radar, I guess he just doesn't have radar in the field. This PD has been successful. It's already a 1 kill. And on multiple factories. This is beginning to look like a real base. And so suspect, he's got multiple factories. He also has air. Looks like 4 land, 1 air. And it's 5 land for SeetHingLong. This Mantis not being microed are going to be ran over. Now we're going to see something like a conflict here along the middle line. A slight advantage for SeetHingLong. He does have the stop shelf here plus a few more mask structures that he hasn't taken yet. There'll be some successful raiding from SeetHingLong. He gets past main force. These are going to die. So more bombers now from suspect. It's going back to what works, and looks like this power is the target. It's an excellent thing to target. Maybe SeetHingLong should think about making some power in this corner. He also has some flak there. And now SeetHingLong is walking across 61 kills. He's going to go directly into suspect's base. We do see some T1 PD being constructed now. And it looks like SeetHingLong has changed his mind. And you can see the power for SeetHingLong is in a lot of danger once again. Mass, that's crazy. Mass storage from SeetHingLong. And 2 NGs, looks like we're going to see an NG fight. You see the NG took out the mechs, and then the other NG took out the NG. Land factories in the middle for SeetHingLong. He does have a superior force at this point. Has map control, needs an NG to grab those mechs as soon as he can. Probably has 6 of them. Maybe these ones will be contested. It's a pretty big economy advantage for SeetHingLong, except he has no power. A lot of power for suspect. He's getting an upgrade with this CU, probably T2. No T2 factories yet. But a lot of good rating from SeetHingLong now. He definitely has way more units. Now an NG here. He's just walking. This is crazy. A T1 mask structure with a bunch of mass stores around it. That's so much economy put into that. That's an extra +1 mass per second. And this is a good move from SeetHingLong. Is moving in with his ACU and a pretty large force. There is an Arty here. I mean a PD here that's getting a few kills. But SeetHingLong completely avoided it. Now is walking in directly in suspect space. T2 mass extractor here and another T1 halfway upgraded. They'd be pretty nice victims for SeetHingLong. He did take out another T2 on his way. Some T2 PD from suspect now. And suspect has total control of the map. SeetHingLong suspect is trying to get his base back here. So it looks like this T2 mask extractor has survived. Seeing a lot of point defenses, T2 point defenses from suspect, so he should be able to defend against T1 forces. A large chunk of his power is now under attack. He's probably going to lose most of this power, but this T2PD doing a good job. These are like those light laser towers or heavy laser towers from TA, except they were green. That was way back in the day. And finally we got the NG here getting these mass spots. Yeah, these ones are just like in TA right here. T1 PDs. Some nice rating force from suspect. Take out a mask extractor. This is a very audacious, however you want to say it, NG. He really got big balls and now gets killed. So another attack through the back door, which see a T1 PD has been constructed for a suspect, so SeetHingLong should retreat. He does. He does have nice NGs now, getting all those free mass spots, and some Mantis wandered in, but were not very effective here for suspect. The scores are surprisingly very even how crazy this game has been. So both the bases have been reversed, and a lot of other things have happened. Both players were at plus 10 power twice. We saw completely land versus bombers, and there wasn't a clear winner, although the bombers could have probably been used slightly better for suspect. I see a lot of T2 PD now for suspect. There's really no chance for a T1 army to do anything. So T2 is probably what we do see a T2 engine now from SeetHingLong. He's got T2 ground. Yeah, he has absolutely no air. And then you can see these units getting a little too close to those lasers, getting taken out. And a lot of NGs for suspect. He's going to get that mass spot and probably get some PDs. He's going to try to establish some sort of defense for this expansion for his base. And something like a T2 PD creep. Suspect 44 kills is going to get a few more PDs outside his base, capture a little more of the territory. We do see some T2 PDs being built by SeetHingLong directly in the middle. These are actually going to be very close to each other. But 3 in a row, it looks like it's going to be even more in a row. So yeah, SeetHingLong's ACU is T2. Some mobile shields coming in now. Some T2 power, so SeetHingLong is going in for a long haul. He'll just capture most of the map and do a little upgrading economy. Probably feels like suspect can't really do anything to him. But he has completely left the back of his base open, and some nice rating from suspect. The suspect is in a little bit of trouble here. He had to retreat. This is a nice PD battery from SeetHingLong. Here's some TMD as well, so SeetHingLong expecting a little arty, and now we see some T1 bombers, of course. And now this is really inexcusable. A bunch of Mantis coming in behind your base. So many targets they really don't know what to shoot, and as a consequence it doesn't look like they killed much. And some T2, we see these pillars. These are going to be very deadly against these Mantis. And while that was happening, a nice counter from a suspect. He got a whole bunch of mass for himself here in the middle. He's got a shield. Does not have any 2T power yet. He's just spamming T1. If we look at reclamation for suspect, now we're at 10,000. For long, it's 9,000. So both players getting a lot of those wrecks. And now it's going to be a shield. So this is going to be a very nice base directly in the middle of the field for SeetHingLong. Should give him a big advantage. But here it looks like numbers for this Mantis force, but they're taking on T2. See these pillars, 12 kills, 5 kills. It's going to be very hard to get past these with Mantis. Pretty large sized Mantis force. Are still looking at some T2 units on the other side. And we can see the PD creep. SeetHingLong doing a very good job with the creep, getting multiple shields. in multiple rows of PDs, as long as the only way to make it better would be just split these up. He does have some power problems now. Only one T2 power. And it looks like actually a T2 NG getting T2 mask extractors. That's pretty crazy on Theta. And all shields are getting overpowered for suspect, yet to retreat once more. So a successful creep from SeetHingLong. You can see these laser towers still trying, but they're going to get taken out. And through the back door, you can see this PD was definitely not successful against T2 force here. These pillars just rolled through, and again, there is another PD here. Actually, has already been destroyed. So we do see some T2 bombers from suspect. He has been the better air person this game, so not surprising at the T2 stage. Now he's just going after units. A couple flak from SeetHingLong, and these won't be very effective. It'd be great for them to target power and not mass extractors. If we could take out all the power, of course this would be the best target here, the T2 power, but it's under his shield. Some T2 flak coming out for SeetHingLong now. That's going to put an end to these bombers. They've just been sniping at T1 mask extractors. They're a pretty large sized force, mostly T1. There are a few hoplites mixed in. For suspect, they're going to go through the back channel, see what they can do. Actually a T2 PD here in the middle of the field, nobody around. It looks like SeetHingLong, instead of continuing the PD creep, is creeping sideways. He doesn't want any attacks coming up to the left side here, but on the right side he does have a little bit of trouble. Got a large force of NGs, they're just going to get slaughtered. Not clear why these were not defended. Really a superior force here. We're going to continue to roll through. There's a lot of great targets like this power. Some mongoose. There is some T2 in this force as well, so a single mongoose is not going to protect. No T1 PDs whatsoever. So this is some great raiding from suspect. Yes, taking a T2 mask extractor out and a lot of the power from, and now some of these are trying to get through with some of these hoplites. Quite a few kills. That's good of, yes, and now the returning force is doing a good job for SeetHingLong, so a successful raid, but a lot of mastery claims still. And a second force for suspect is coming out. A lot more T2 in this one. And you can see SeetHingLong is just going to overcharge this T2. Terrible place to put your T2 bots. They're going to go after the ACU but run into a lot of PDs. So this is basically suicide from suspect here. So this is a really good PD that SeetHingLong has put for himself. Now he's going to go around, really start making PD here. So instead of making a straight PD creep directly at base, he really fortified all around. And we have the T2, the hoplites to the back door. Going to meet some T1. If they use their range, there will be definitely a superior force. Looks like that's what's happening with suspect. He's doing good job microing these, but now it looks like you forgot about him. Probably busy over here looking at this ACU. See quite a bit of T2 PD here from suspect, and now more of the hoplites coming out against the ACU, as well as some T2 bombers. Suspect getting some T2 power. Of course, going with a PD standoff, Cybran versus UEF, there's a clear winner there. UEF much better at such things. And we got a successful wall here from suspect, preventing these tanks from coming through. And some T2 bombers, some great bombers. And some raiding hoplites now getting through. They do have the range on these mongoose, but they're not microed. Looks like SeetHingLong has retreated quite a bit. So much mass here from either player. Just set this factor in an attack move right here. So much mass. Suspect still just sitting there, working on his T2 bombers, getting a little more mass storages around his mass. He's got multiple T2 mass extractors. A lot of T2 mass extractors from SeetHingLong as well. It's coming up on minute 46. Actually a little bit of teching on this map, but a lot of raiding through this back channel, so not much has happened. So you can see this wall is preventing suspects T2 units from taking on NGs that are getting a whole bunch of mass and rebuilding a base. And it looks like SeetHingLong likes to make rows of flak and PD here. It's definitely getting slower this game. Suspect getting more T2 power. It looks like either player, really this is suicide for suspect. He needs to be attacking or doing something because SeetHingLong has much more of the map. He can tech, he can do whatever. Looks like he's not producing anything with his factories. He's making more T2 power, really just fortifying his position. We got a lot of his only weakness is really this back spot. This top spot has been over fortified. There's like nothing. Probably almost stop a spider bot walking through here. This is just an overkill. If you put a little bit on his other side of the map and maybe start trying to take over this part, that's actually what he's doing. He's sending some T2 bots and some T1 through the middle. But this is a nice hoplite force. Yeah, these will prevent any kind of attempt from SeetHingLong. And if SeetHingLong, yeah, he continues to roll through. These are a whole bunch of dead units. But yeah, maybe if they all went at the same time. You can see the hoplite's excellent against mobile units. And there, the wall has been taken down by some NGs. And SeetHingLong's T2 has expanded. The suspect lost quite a bit of the map of his 3 mass extractors. So good work from SeetHingLong. So now he doesn't really have to worry about putting some defense on this top right side. He could probably use a few more flak. His T2 planes from and now we see a spider bot started by suspect. He only really has a few T2 mass extractors, so he's probably counting on reclaiming a lot of mass to really build this. We haven't seen a single plane all game from SeetHingLong. He has made quite a bit of flak, however. This is a T2 versus T2 fight, but it appears that SeetHingLong does have the numbers. Some reinforcements coming in now for suspect. Still looks like a lot more T2 for SeetHingLong. And an NG attempting to get mass extractors back gets cut out by a few tanks. These are great NGs from suspect. He won a lot of mass for himself. I was seeing some he's just building toys for himself. Should have so much power, SeetHingLong. Surprising that we don't have T3 yet. He's actually got 5 T2 factories. He's just making mongoose. So a lot of non-orthodox things going on in this game. Spiderbot's about a quarter of the way done. A lot of flak for SeetHingLong. And it looks like his ACU is being upgraded. So we got to think if this spiderbot gets finished, it should be very difficult to do. You can just walk here and kill SeetHingLong. It was a really good position. All this T2 just won't be enough, and these T2 PDs are not enough either. So to get a spiderbot through this would be pretty difficult, but just around the side, really not much problem. However, we know that SeetHingLong does not have any planes, so he has no way of knowing what suspect's making. He can't tell what this is on a radar. So maybe he doesn't know, but he's got to be thinking that suspect's making something big if he leaves them alone for such a long time. A lot of mass just scattered. It's still not picked up. Now we can see T3 PD coming out for SeetHingLong. So a few of these, and it's spider bot no longer is viable. It really likes, SeetHingLong really likes straight lines. And now we see this T2 force rushing in into Suspect's base. This can be pretty devastating. Not much that Suspect can do. He's got a whole bunch of T2 PDs. Actually, the spider's nearly done. Actually, great T2 PDs. He had a lot more than I expected. So successful defense. Now he's got a whole bunch of mass to put into that spider. Now we do see this T3 PD. This is really got a lot of firepower. This T2 really has nothing on these Ravagers. That's what a UEF ACU at T3 will do to you. Spark outside your base and just start firing on the inside. Some backdoor action. And Suspect not moving, he forgot to move. Well, that's tragic. The spider bot has just been finished. And actually the Ravagers kill Suspect's ACU. Just as the spider could have made this interesting. If he went directly after the ACU, probably would have died. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. It was an hour-long game.